Okay, very good morning, my dear friends. Welcome to today's session. So this is Dr. PADALA Tirupati, Assistant Professor. Today's our eminent resource person, Dr.A.RAJANI Madam Garu, Assistant Professor, Head Department of Botany, Food and Nutrition, RBVRR Women's College, Autonomous, Hyderabad. Madam is going to explain today about ectocarpus, that is belongs to PHYCOLOGY of algae. So my dear students, listen carefully. Madam, please start your session.
Okay, sir.
Nani screen sharing ichava option?
Chillu, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Good afternoon, students. In the last class, I'll explain to the algae PO5C member. Now, 1 second, sir. I'll explain. I think today this is the last class in the RBVRR member. Here, total how many classes which scientists to explain? Total 11 classes to explain. The first in the 11 classes in degree level, you can study to the only 4 classes. The first class chlorophyceae member already completed. What is chlorophyceae? In the chlorophyceae, you can study to the 3 type studies. These are also completed. First type study name is called Volvox. Second type study name is called Idogonium. Third type study name is called Kara. These 3 already completed. But what is the important? What type of questions to ask? These are things also already discussion is completed. Coming to the second class. Yesterday class I'll explain to the second class of algae. That is the PO5C member or brown algae. In that brown algae, you can study only one type studies is there. That type study name is called the ectocarpus. That one also completed. How to question to ask, what is the important characters? These are things to discussed in the yesterday class only. Now I'll start to the today class. PO-RODOPHYCEAE member. The another class, RODOPHYCEAE member. Here, the RODOPHYCEAE meaning red algae. What is the RODOPHYCEAE? Red algae. The member, these in the before type study, these RODOPHYCEAE member, what type of characters are important? What is the thallus? What is the pigment system? These are things I'll explain. First one here in the members belonging to this class are commonly called as red algae. See here in this class belonging to the commonly called as red algae. See here chlorophyceae is the green algae, PO5 is called the brown algae. The coming to the RODOPHYCEAE member is called the red algae. These the genera in this one belonging to this class are cultivated as mariculture. Very important. Which algae to cultivate the class? Which class? That is a cultivated name is called mariculture. Around 10 lakhs tons of commercial products are obtained by Japan, China, Philippines by cultivating of these algae. In this class also economically importance are there. Most economically important you can use to the economically. That's why here these red algae to cultivate some countries, example for the Japan, China and Philippines. This cultivation name is called mariculture. Coming to the what characters are there in this class in the Polysiphonia in this red algae or RODOPHYCEAE. Majority species, you know, only 2 classes are the ocean algae. Which one? First one is the PHYCOLOGY member, marine or ocean algae. Coming to the second one, rhodophyceae member. These rhodophyceae also marine algae. Few are freshwater. Meaning 95% of algae found in marine. Only just 5% algae found in freshwater. Here, thallus. Coming to the thallus. You know what is the main algae plant body name is called thallus. These thallus also class wise to different. Coming to the first unicellular to multicellular. In the chlorophytes, you can study the cenobium, filamentous, unbranched filamentous. Coming to the PHYCOLOGY member, filamentous and branched trichomes are there. Here also the thallus, the plant body is called filamentous. All are pseudoparenchyma or parenchyma tissues to made up of thallus. And in this one, next coming to the pigments, what type of pigments are there? Chlorophyll A, chlorophyll D is the common pigments. Chlorophyll A and D. In the PHYCOLOGY, chlorophyll AC. Here, chlorophyll AD. Another pigment, very most important, phycobilins are present. Are phycobilins, are phycoerythrin, are phycocyanin. Here, phycoerythrin is very dominant. That's where the color of this class, red color algae. And another very important, all pigments, you know, total in the pigment system of plant body or total the plant structure, 5 types of pigments are there. Chlorophyll A, B, C, D, and E. And plus microbial pigments also, bacterial chlorophyll 560, 565. These are the pigments. After that one, carotenoids are there. In the carotene, xanthophylls and carotene. But here, another third position of the pigment is the phycobilins. One is the chlorophyll pigment. Second part is the carotenoids. Third part is the phycobilins. Here to ask the question, very most important, which pigments is the water soluble pigments? Only phycobilins is the water soluble pigments. You can observe phycobilins, 2 classes. First class is the rhodophyceae. The second one is a mixophyceae or cyanophyceae or blue-green algae. Very, very important. Many times to ask this question. To ask the phycobilins, what type of pigments to water soluble? What type to ask chlorophyll A, chlorophyll D, phycocyanin, and chlorophyll E, like that. Okay? Phycobilins are the water soluble pigment system. Here, 2 types of phycobilins are there. Phycoerythrin and second one is the phycocyanin. Phycoerythrin is a very dominant. That's where the color is a reddish color of this class. And then coming to the next one here, beta carotenes, alpha carotenes also present. Another very important characteristic, reserve food material. Starch is very common, but here fluorodian starch. Many times to ask this question also. In the PHYCOLOGY or POLYSIPHONIA, what type of reserve food material you can observe? Fluorodian starch is the most important. Polysaccharides also played most important, but fluorodian starch is a very dominant and economically important. That's why to cultivate the different countries. That's why the cultivation name is called mariculture. And coming to the next point, the cell wall. Here cell wall also, cellulose is very common, but here sulfates to made up of the cell wall. And these sulfates to use to the many cosmetics and many economically importance are present in the cell wall of the sulfate. And coming to the sexual reproduction is there, very common, oogamy type. But here a sexual reproduction is not there. Only sexual reproduction you can study in this class. All are male gametes also non-motile. Another very important, flagella is absent. All male gametes, flagella is present in the other classes, but only except the rhodophyceae member, where the male gamete are there. In that male gamete, flagella is absent. Naked male gametes are present in the sexual reproduction time. And life cycle, you can observe this diplohaplonetic or diplobionetic life cycle as there. These are the just introduction of the rhodophyceae member. here to ask the main important, what is the maricultural, and the second important, what type of pigments, chlorophyll A, chlorophyll D, phycoerythrin, phycocyanin, and coming to the next important point, what type of reserve food material are there, fluoridian starch, and cell wall to made up of sulfates. All male organs, sex organs, non-motile or naked male sex organs are present in this class. These are very important to ask the questions in your competitive examination time. Coming to the type study. The type study name is called, only one type study is there in degree level, that name Polysiphonia. What is the meaning of poly? Poly meaning many. Siphonous meaning tubes-like structure. Okay, the total, the name of these Polysiphonia, many tubes. The plant body or thallus is the siphonous are there. Many siphonous or many tube-like structures to form. That's why the name is called Polysiphonia. Coming to this one, what is the classification of this? Here in this classification, Rhodophyceae, Ceramales order, very important order also. This is a different order is coming to the last class. I'll not to explain on Volvox, Volvocales order, Ectocarpus, Ectocarpales order. But here in the Phyophyceae, Polysiphonia, the order name is called Ceramales order, Rhodophyceae family. The genus name is called Polysiphonia. Here in this Polysiphonia, see, this one is the what is the habitat where you can observe this one. Polysiphonia is a common red algae on sea coast. They grow abundantly in the abundantly in the sublittoral zones regions. Commonly, you can observe seen in where the oceans are there, or Atlantic Ocean, next American continent regions. You can observe these Polysiphonia plants. Here, example, all are the ocean, only few are the epiphytic characters are there. The best example, Polysiphonia mangroves. That is the epiphytic. Mangroves is the epiphytic example. The only Polysiphonia is there, but Polysiphonia mangroves is the epiphytic. And where can this one, another Polysiphonia irocilata is epiphytic on laminaria. Laminaria is the Phyophyceae. That one also ocean or marine algae. In this Polysiphonia, epiphyte on laminaria. This is the habitat. And see here, this is the Polysiphonia picture. Corolina and Polysiphonia. But in the study of the degree level, you can study Polysiphonia only. This is a highly branched thallus. What type of thallus are there? See, this one is the Polysiphonia, and another picture, this is the Brachyspermum, and this one is the porphyridin. It is only unicellular, but all are the multicellular branching filamentous body. Only one species is there. Some species are there. The best example, porphyridin, only in this class of unicellular algae, Porphyridium. See here, what is the thallus? The genus of Polysiphonia, majority are multicellular, the filamentous plant body, and made up of thallus. All the tissues are the parenchyma tissue or pseudoparenchymatous. And here, in this one, the most multicellular forms, vegetative cells are interconnected by pits, or pit connections are there. That pit to connected by the plasmadesmata. And the thallus very extremely delicate, feathery, and beautiful red color. See this one, beautiful red color, very delicate. Why? The total thallus to made up of the pseudoparenchymatous. That's a very delicate and very pure red color, beautiful red color is there. And the thallus, coming to the next one here, genus, main important in thallus may be divided into the two parts. One is the uniaxial thallus, second one is the multi-axillary thallus. See, uniaxillary, and second one is the multi-axillary. What is the uniaxillary? As an uniaxillary or central and usually corticated filamentous, which bear branched laterals are present. And some cases, the laterals may be organized to form uniaxial or pseudoparenchymatous thallus. Best example, Grimelia brachyspermum. And multicellular thallus, here bundle of axils are present. Central filamentous plant body is there, which give radiating laterals also present on the margins. These all are multi-axillar thallus. See, these are the total pictures for the Rhodophyceae member. Porphyra, this one. Porphyra parenchymata thallus. Porphyra Bangia parenchymata thallus. This is the pseudo parenchymata thallus. Both are. These are and here filamentous thallus. These are the uniaxillar and multi-axillar filamentous. And in this one, coming to this part here, next one coming. Next, this 1 second, cell structure. In here, another very important before cell structure. In this one also, the total plant body derives the name tube-like body. Plant body is there. In the tubes, 4 to 24 pericentral siphonous are there present in many species. In this part, here also 2 branches are there. Okay, here prostrating filamentous system and second one erecting system. Same like that in the PO5C member ectocarpus also I'll explain. One is the creeping system and second one is the prostrate system. Both are 2 present in this system. Here also the development of thallus is called the trichoblastic thallus. What is the upright thallus? Here is the trichoblastic thallus are there. They are colorless, hair-like, uniaxial, and forked thallus are present. Some species, trichoblasts are absent in prostrate system or short branches of limited growth. In some species, Polysiphonia elongata, the ear in this one is the thallus structures. Coming to the cell structure. Cell are made up of what is the main important cell wall is bilayered. The cell wall is called the bilayered and outer layer composed of the outer and inner. Outer layer made up of to the pectins, inner layer made up of polysulfates. Sulfate esters are to present. This outer layer always to covering with the mucilaginous coating composed of the sulfate and glutamate sugars are agar and cara green, furosilin, porphyrin. These are 2 most important to made up of the cell wall. In the some cases, the outer layer impregnated with the calcium carbonates also. Inner layer made up of the cellulose. 1 second, see here. This is the cell of the Polysiphonia. This one is a cell wall, cell membrane. The stellate chloroplast are there. See here, blackish color now. This one is the Floridian starch and vacuole. These are all the vacuoles are present. See, reserve food material. What is the reserve food material? Floridian starch and monoglycerates, maltases, sugars, inflorodians. These are the reserve food material. Coming to the next one, reproduction part. Reproduction here, Polysiphonia is dioecious. In the method of vegetative asexual reproduction is totally absent. Vegetative reproduction and asexual is totally absent. Sometimes only some species to form to these vegetative reproductive neutral spores, carpospore, tetraspores. But most important of reproductive organs in this Polysiphonia, 3 distinct phases are there. One is the gametophytic phase, second one is the carposporophytic phase, and third one is the tetrasporophyte. See, these are the stages of the dioecious type. No, that's where these 3 stages are most important for the reproductive organs. Coming to the sexual reproduction in Polysiphonia. Sexual, that is the oogamy type. What is the Polysiphonia? Sexual reproduction, oogamy. Both male and female gametes are non-motile. Very important points. Here, male gamete, where the male gamete is there, in that male gamete, flagella is absent. That's why naked male gamete or non-motile male gametes are there. But the name also very important in this one. The male sex organ name is antheridia is very common. But here to ask the name is called spermatangium. In Kara also I'll explain to the male reproductive organ name is called globule. Female reproductive organ name is called nucleus. Same like that, here also the male reproductive organ name is called spermatium. The female reproductive organ name is called carpagonium. Don't confuse by heart these names. To ask the question, these questions only. Name, what is the male reproductive organ name? Spermatium or spermatangium. Female reproductive organ name is called carpagonium. See, during fertilization, a spermatium is carried to the carpagonium by water current and gets attached to the trichogamy. The point of contact, trichogamy contact dissolve the spermatium nucleus, passes down to the egg located in the base of carpagonium. This is called the fertilization. After fertilization to form to the zygote. These zygote, gonioblast filament, terminal cells, each and every filament mature to the carpagonia. These are the consist of the carpagonia development. 1 second. Yeah, see here. Before this one, that is a carpagonia. Here, total Polysiphonia, dioecious. 3 stages are 3 distinct phases are there. No? In the 3 distinct phases, one is the gametophytic stage. The second one is the carposporophyte. The third stage is the tetrasporophyte. What is gametophytic? In the sexual reproduction, asexual and sexual both are, but here I'll explain the Polysiphonia is the heterothallic. Exhibit triphasic condition, triphasic alternation generation. These triphasic, the first one is the gametophytic. Gametophytic is the haploid stage, this one. Free living and dioecious. There are separate male gamete or female gamete. But the male gamete name is called the spermatangium. Female gametangium name is called carpagonium. The coming to the, what is the carpospore? The second one is the carposporophyte. See here to ask the question, gametophyte is a what type of stage is there? Haploid stage. Carposporophyte is the diploid. The state to ask the question, this one. The stages of gametophytic, the stages of carposporophyte, the stage of the tetrasporophyte. Here, the carposporophyte, these are diploid thallus, which develop from the zygote. They produced carposporangia. This one, carpospores, always is a diploid condition. Coming to the last stage, that is the tetrasporophyte. These are formed by the germination of diploid carpospore. How to form tetraspore? Here to produce the carposporophyte, no? In that the diploid carposporophyte to germinate to produce to the tetrasporangia, which produced haploid tetraspores. Why here reduction reason is there? That's where this converted into the haploid stage, germination on male and female gametes. This one, 3 are distinct phases. Coming to the what is each and every one, how to gametophytic stage are there? Gametophyte are the concerned with the sexual reproduction. The type of reproduction is called the oogamous type. Polysiphonia is heterothallic or dioecious. The male sex organ, the female sex organ born on different gametophytes. Male gametophyte produced male sex organ, spermatangium. Female gametophyte produced female sex organ, that is the carpagonium. See, How to develop the male sex organ or male gametophyte? It bear male sex organ spermatangia, which born on, see this picture you can observe, spermatangia born on which are born in dense clusters. See, this one is the cluster, you can observe the picture, clusters, and are closely packed, forming compact cone shaped structure appear. These upper branches of dichotomously branches are there. These male trichoblast to produce to the male gametophyte. Here two trichoblastous cells are, they function as stalk and pericentral cells. These are there. Each and every spermatangia, see these are the spermatangia. This is the trichoblast. This is the spermatangial mother cell in middle one. This part is the spermatangial mother. This is the mother cells, and these are the spermatiums or spermatangia. These are, each spermatangia mother cell gives rise to the 2 to 4 spermatangia or antheridia. See, you can observe 1, 2, 3. Minimum 2, the starting 2 to 4 spermatangial is to give spermatangia or antheridia produced. The spermatangia spherical shape, unicellular structure, the content of each spermatangium produced a single non-motile spermatial male gamete or spermatium. These spermatia liberated by the formation of narrow slit in the spermatangial wall are carried by the water and next to the dignity of female sex organ. This is the first one is completed, and the second female reproductive organ name is called carpagonium. The female trichoblast to produce the central siphonous to form to the 3 to 4 cell behind apical cell. It divides repeatedly to form to the trichoblast 5 to cell stage height. See, height is the total height of the 5 to 7. 3 cells is lower part. You can observe the 3 cells, lower cells of the female trichoblast divided vertically to form an ensheathing pericentral cells, which are arranged in the 3 types, one above, one other. One of the pericentral cell middle tier adaxial side become the supporting. This cell is called the supporting cell. The lateral cuts of the small initial cell free and known as procarp initial. This one is called the procarp initial. These initial divided into the carpagonia. These carpagonia basal swollen cell portion, which is the egg or female gamete is present. That is a trichogamy. That is all the development of carpagonia. After male and female gametophyte development took the form to the fertilization. The spermatia liberated from the male gameto, plants are carried by the water current to the carpagonium. When spermatium enter into the trichogyne on the carpagonium, the point of attachment dissolve the male nucleus enter into the trichogamy, female trichogamy. The male nucleus then enter the trichogony and moves down to the rich swollen basal portion of the carpagonium. When these nucleus to fuse with the female gamete to form to the zygote. Okay. After the formation of zygote, here one special characters is there in this polysiphonia. That is the post fertilization changes. Many post fertilization changes are there before fertilization. What type of post fertilization changes? Here polysiphonia including 3 events are there in the post fertilization stages. First, two cell lateral sterile filament, 4 to 10 cells structure is there. That filament is called this filament nutritive filament, supporting cell, auxiliary cells. It has a haploid nuclei. These haploid nuclei lies close to the carpagonium. The auxiliary cells established connected with the basal part of carpagonium. Here diploid nucleus is there. That diploid nucleus divided into the mitotically to form to the two daughter nuclei. And one of these nuclei migrate into the axillary cell. These axillary cell to form to the, that name is called the gonioblast. Okay, the gonioblast, now many initial cells to form, that is the gonioblast cells. The diploid nuclei of the axillary cell divided into the mitotically. Each daughter nuclei migrate into the gonioblast initials. These gonioblast initials, now diploid nucleus is present. Each gonioblast initial divide and redivide to form a short gonioblast filament. These the terminal cell of the gonioblast filament develop into a elongated pear-shaped carposporangia to form. See this one, very important. The fertile filament or terminal filament, which cell is there? Carposporangia, this part. See, this is the carposporophyte or carposporangia. Next one, the carposporangia, another name is called cystocarp. Very important to ask them many times this question also, where you can observe the cystocarp or carposporophyte. The second individual form, that is the Polysiphonia, that is the carposporophyte or cystocarp. The whole structure consisting of gonioblast filament, carposporangia, carpospores, or placental cells. This is the completely these are the completely young vegetative filaments are on-shaped. The structure of carposporophyte, this one, on-shaped body, this called cystocarp or carposporophyte. The cystocarp is called pericarp. Opening end is there. That opening part name is called osteole. And the last one, what is the tetrasporophyte? These are all tetrasporophyte is the diploid condition. Germinate carpospore produced new diploid plants are called tetrasporophyte, which resemble just like gametophytic plant in morphologically. It consists of central siphonous, thallus is the lateral, branches are there. See, you can observe the tetrasporophyte. These are all the, see here, 2, 1, 2, 3 is there, no? The back side, another one tetraspore is there. The carpospores are germinate, form a thallus called tetrasporophyte, which is all the diploid condition. This is a free living diploid individual. Very important. This question to ask. Which algae you can observe to the free living diploid individuals? That is only Polysiphonia. It reproduced asexually by means of non-motile haploid spore called tetraspore. Tetraspore are produced in spherical diploid reproductive structure, that is the tetrasporangia. That name is called that name is called tetrasporangia. These are developed from the pericentral cells. Just behave as a tetrasporangial initial. Each initial divide vertically to form to the two cells. One outer cover cell, inner sporangial mother cell. The sporangial mother cell undergoes meiosis division to form haploid spore. This one to form to the haploid spores. These are each and every. Now applied tetraspore position is the end position. The tetraspore are elaborated the rupture of sporangial wall and germinate into gametophytic stage of plant body. And the next one, in coming to the life cycle of Polysiphonia, male and female gamete produce the gametes. The spermatium, the spermatium fuse with the egg of the carposporangium to form to the diploid zygote into the supporting cell. One of the diploid daughter nuclei migrate from the supporting cell and carposporophyte. Here carposporophyte is the 2N stage. 2N developed, but the carposporate is a parasitic on the female thallus. Can listen carefully here. These carposporophyte always parasite on the female thallus. From the diploid carpospore of the carposporophyte, germinate on the tetrasporophyte. In the tetrasporophyte, sporangia are formed. Each diploid tetrasporangial cell undergoes meiosis division to form 4 haploid tetraspores. These are tetraspore germinate, gives rise to a haploid gametophyte. The total polysyphonic